Before that, though, we have to welcome back Ayda. Lovely to see you. Always lovely to see you, but so much has happened since we last saw you. You were back in LA, your hometown, where you grew up.
Yeah, born and raised in LA.
Yeah.
That was very...
Were there when the fires broke out?
We were there when the fires broke out, because I think I've discussed my mom's going through cancer treatment, so we were there to be with her. And I think it was about 2 days after the Golden Globes. We'd gone to the Golden Globes and had these lovely frocks on, and we're in a celebratory mood, and then everything turned so quickly in Los Angeles. It was very surreal. Really heartbreaking to watch.
When you first heard Ayda, do you think, oh, there'll be a wildfire, they'll put it out soon, something will happen? When did you start realising this is very
It was
serious?
very weird, because the night before, there had been an alert in Malibu about threat-to-life winds that were happening. So I had friends that were evacuating Malibu because of the winds, which I thought, threat-to-life winds, so I've never heard of that in LA. But, you know, when I was 14, I lost my house in the LA earthquakes. So when I hear kind of anything like that, I automatically am a bit triggered and go on alert. But I didn't think that we would end up where we did with LA. And throughout the night, we didn't know the fires were happening that first night. But the second night, when it was apparent that a fire had started, it was terrifying, because all of a sudden you could feel the winds, hear the winds, and you knew that fire was ripping through the city. And, you know...
Could you see smoke and things?
You could see smoke. It was hazy. It was black. I was getting phone calls from friends. We've been evacuated. It was all very quick. It was all in real time. And it was just very surreal. And your phones would go off with these amber alerts, you know, that are, you know, they're very loud and strong. And... you know, it was kind of chaos, because you didn't know if your area was close, and, you know, you didn't know if, you know, there was some alerts that were sent wrong, and you were watching what was happening on TV. You know, my stepfather, bless him, he's recently widowed. He was in the Palisades, and he just got out. He just took his cat. He didn't take anything else. He didn't take his passport.
What about your children? Sorry to keep it, because obviously it's such a huge topic and not a lot of time. I often think about what you tell children in those circumstances, because they look to you. If you look frightened, if you look panicked, your children are quite young. Yeah, how did they cope? What did you tell them?
Well, I think, you know, something that was happening, too, is that the air quality was really bad during the fires. So you couldn't go out. It was very clear that something was going on. You know, the kids couldn't play in the garden. They had to stay in. And I think with Coco and Bo, they were so small that we were able to have them watch Bluey and play magnet tiles and bake. But, you know, Teddy is of an age now where, you know, and I obviously was very stressed out, and so was Rob. And she was hearing the Amber Alerts, and she was terrified. She said, OK, that's it. We've got to go. We've got to go now. That's another, you know. And it was very hard to, I don't know if I managed to succeed in doing it the right way. You know, my dad was evacuated with us. My brother then evacuated with us. We had friends evacuated with us. There was no escaping what was happening in terms of the reality. I think Teddy was aware. Charlie somehow just manages to submerge into an iPad and like nothing else exists. So I think he was okay. But, you know, we also had it on the news. Yeah. You know, it was a running loop of what was going on, because there wasn't anyone I didn't know who wasn't either directly affected or had a friend or a family affected by this fire. So
is your dad's house okay?
You know, we didn't know for about a week and a half if his townhouse was still standing. His place managed to survive, but my physio, who is his neighbor, hers burned down. Wow. He can't go back for, I think, 6 months because of the power, and it's toxic.
I mean, it's horrendous.
You know, but, you know, a lot of these people, what's so devastating is not only are they regular people who have lost everything, but now they're paying a mortgage and homeowners association fees on a house that doesn't exist, and they still have to find another home to live in. I mean, it's a mess.
The ripples effect is immense. You were there. Sally, you were watching this from home. Your daughter, of course, is living in LA, and you were due to go out, I think, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've only been once, so this was my second time to LA, and I was really excited. And on the Monday, Phoebe's boyfriend, Cam, rang me and said, yes, still come. It's going to be fine. You'll be fine. And then Tuesday, his family, all of them lost their houses, his grandma, his mum and dad. Phoebe and Cam's house was so close to the fire. It was just, and then I was all packed, we were ready to go, and then we had an app on our phone which was telling you where the fire was. And I was literally up all night going, oh my gosh, if that fire gets to Phoebe's house, that's just going to be like... It was just a really awful time, wasn't it? And you were watching it on the news, and it was just really, really scary. And my heart breaks for all the people.
Can I ask you just one thing? I think we talked about this at the time. If we were just told today, you're at home, and they say, you have to get out of your house, what do you take? Like, what do you remember what you even put in the bag?
I packed photographs that I had and passports. You know, that was pretty much it. We had our bags ready. My dad, he didn't have a warning. He didn't bring, God forbid, he didn't have his passport or his insurance papers. He had nothing. You know, he had his cat. Exactly. So I think, you know, if you are presented with the time to grab your passport or insurance papers, you'd grab that. But really, the stuff, at the end of the day, the things that you have are mostly not important. It's the people you have, the things you love, the animals, the family, and just
well, thank goodness you're all safe.
Very grateful to be.
Yeah, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be back.